Thanks, Sherry. Welcome, everybody. It's always exciting to reconvene on our Thursday calls here. For those of you that haven't met me before, as Sherry says, I'm a chiropractor and I've specialized in brain and spinal trauma most of my practice. And as she alluded to, I unfortunately was in a head-on collision with an 18-wheeler with my wife and I, and ended up being permanently disabled for a lot of years and took a lot to be able to recover from that. Against all odds, I'm a fighter. I'm not just going to roll over and take it, even though they kept telling me, you should just be thankful you're still alive and thankful for what you can do. Well, I certainly was. I'm always grateful. But I knew my body was capable of so much more and nobody was helping in that aspect. And so I had to kind of think outside the box for a lot of years and then go inside the box when that didn't work. And finally, I found a breakthrough after breakthrough after breakthrough. And 10 years ago, I got all my abilities back. I got out of my wheelchair, off all my meds, and have been paying it forward ever since. And shortly after that time, within the first year, I was still very limited, but now I didn't have to have people dress me and move me and do everything to, get my wheelchair in the car and all of that kind of stuff. It was quite refreshing. And so, being in the brain space, we do a lot of neurofeedback training, and we're always looking for things to be able to allow our brains to push it a little further. Well, this was an answer to prayers. It gave us the ability to just keep going and going and going and never hit a wall. So we started to be able to get a couple years of training it in just a single month and seen so many breakthroughs come because of that. So this product we've been using now 8.5 years, and I look around to all the other doctors that do brain health and like, how do you not know about this? This is one of the most fascinating supplements that I've ever laid my eyes on. I've taken supplements since I was 7 years old, whole food vitamins, and my parents were very health conscious, so I wasn't allowed to have enriched bread and sugar and all those types of things that most people grew up on. And I didn't understand it at the time, but later as I grew up, I realized, you know what, I was never sick, and I never had all those issues that all my friends have. And so there really is something to say to taking care of your health while you're young. So as you get older, you're going to have more resilience to go through the traumas and things that unfortunately a lot of us have to go through, but also you're going to age gracefully. If I'm going to be elderly, I want to know I'm elderly and be able to enjoy my life still and enjoy my family and my time and freedom. And so we're always looking for ways to prevent the inevitable aging, slow that down as powerful as we can. And in the process, every morning I've been taking a handful of supplements like my life insurance every day. I can never tell you which one was most important because they've all made it into my hand for a reason. They're all important. But now that I've experienced this amazing supplement that you're going to learn about here in a minute, um, it by far is the most important one. And I would stop anything else if I had to before I would stop this. So, with that, today's, as Sherry alluded to, again, it's going to be a very amazing call. This is all about energizing life and how a mother's essence is going to fuel her baby throughout that journey. And we're going to talk a lot about energy and transfer of energy and what that looks like. So let me go ahead and share my screen. So I'm going to first start off by just acknowledging that we represent a company called ASEA. ASEA is a biotech wellness company that has found an amazing supplement that helps the body function and do what it's supposed to do. So we don't have to ever talk about a condition. If this were a drug, it would be treating a specific condition, and then nobody else in the world would benefit from it. In fact, they tried to make it a drug, and when they couldn't kill animals with it, they couldn't get it passed as a drug. So it became this amazing supplement that fortunately us and over 37 countries now have the ability to, impact our lives with. So we're not going to talk about treating, curing, or diagnosing any disease states or any conditions. It's not what is important. We're going to talk about how you can tap into your body's own healing power. And your body is the only thing that actually heals itself. So, with that, we're going to go for a little, oops, let me back up that. We're going to have a little scientific journey with you today. Before we get into the essence of her mother and her baby and how all this energy is exchanged, I kind of want to explain what is energy, where do we get it from, how do we give it to other people, and the answer that you're going to find in all of that relates to redox signaling molecule chemistry. Okay, so I'm going to take you from very big to very little, and so help put these things into perspective. We live in a solar system, obviously, that has the sun as our power source, and all of our planets are in a continual circulation around that sun. Okay, so we are creating our energy from the sun, and that's propelling us all to stay in these orbits. Now, the Earth itself, as massive as it is, has its own energy fields around it. We have a North Pole, we have a South Pole, and they're emitting an immense amount of electrons from the Earth that circle around to the other side. And the reason they do that is because, oh, sorry. The reason they do that is because it's creating a field, a protective layer, a force field around our Earth. So as those solar rays from the sun come hailing towards our planet, it diverts them around and actually protects the core, which is our Earth and us, by the way. And so that's a pretty powerful force field if we think about it, because there's all sorts of objects in space that come hurling towards our planet, many of them big enough to take our planet out. But because we have this energetic field that we can't see, but it's there. It's like holding two magnets and trying to push like fields together. You feel that force field in between. Okay, that energy exists even though we're not seeing it. So, how do we tap into that energy? Well, you have to go right to the Earth's surface, either the sand or the grass or the dirt. And by literally just walking on this surface, your body is literally gaining trillions of negative electrons from the Earth's core into your body that are helping your body do the exact same thing that we need to do at a cellular level that all the solar system is doing at a massive level. And that's called making energy. Okay, so inside every one of our cells, we have these little things called mitochondria, and they are literally producing energy for you in the tune of ATP and redox signaling molecules. This same energy is what we use to charge our cells and to actually communicate. So when we look at these molecules, they're basically the molecule in the middle, and it's surrounded by electrons that are spinning madly around it, okay? Some of those electrons are charging the molecule itself. Others are for communication. So when they touch other molecules, they can join, they can share information. This is down at the smallest level. Inside our cells, all of these molecules have their own electrons spinning around them in space. So oxidative stress is the main type of stress that any cell will feel. And then it tries to neutralize that. Oxidative stress is when communication and breaks down and the cell starts to degrade or the molecule starts to break apart. And when it does this, we have all sorts of imbalance now of positively or negatively charged molecules floating around inside our cells and outside our cells. Our body immediately starts creating something called redox signaling molecules of the opposite size charge, either a reactive oxygen species or a reactive nitrogen species, to go neutralize that threat. And the faster it can do that equals resiliency. And so this is how our body deals with stress at the molecular level. Why is that important? Well, when we talk about ASEA, this product that we mentioned, it will say on the bottle sodium chloride. Well, that's saline. Well, what is saline? Saline is the exact salt concentration of the fluids within our body. So when you're dehydrated and you end up in the hospital, to save your life, they put an IV with saline in it. So when you put something into an IV, it's going to maintain that state throughout your blood. So if I was going to put vitamin C, I could put 5,000 milligrams right into my blood because I don't metabolize it or break it down any further. If I tried to eat that much vitamin C, I would have bad diarrhea. Okay. It would be too much because I couldn't metabolize it. So saline is the medium in which our blood carries things through. So we're matching the fluids in the body to help hydrate the body and move the medications or move your own body's natural immunity through your body. But that's the end of it. We don't break the saline down into anything else. So ASEA, even though it started as sodium chloride, it's not sodium chloride anymore. They basically have a process that looks like this that can convert saline into its actual molecular structure components. Now, that process is kind of simple, but they do have 7 patents on it. Now, you can't patent salt water, okay? But they have 7 patents and over 1,000 trade secrets on how they have done this. So they take the sodium chloride and they roll it down a hill, let's just say this little hill, breaking it apart into its constituents. Then they roll it up a hill that's 10 times bigger than the one it came down. And they're able to keep these molecules high energy and suspended. And here's the beautiful thing. The ones that we make, these exact same molecules, we're making them right from our mitochondria, like I said. And that mitochondria is producing these molecules to then join together and build antioxidants, to be able to donate or give electrons to neutralize oxidative stress, to turn on every signal that every one of your cells has to create something or stop creating it, whether it's a neurotransmitter, a hormone, an enzyme. All fluids in the body are regulated by these molecules. Now, you make them and use them instantly. You can't store them. They're fleeting like an ash coming out of a fire. So here's the miracle. ASEA figured out how to stabilize these. The left two are positively charged and the right two are negatively charged. And guess what? They're not neutralizing each other inside this bottle. And for 2 years, they will stay highly active, tiny molecules that can enter any cell instantly, turn things on and off, create a cascading effect throughout all the nearby cells. And that is what's called resilience. And so the fact that we have this and it's stable, and this is as far upstream as you could ever go to heal something. These are the molecules your body makes to transcribe the DNA into new cells and to turn on and off every neurological function in the body. Think of these as the letters of the language of communication for your nervous system. That to me is powerful, and that's ASEA. So when we're young, our cells can all communicate to each other like this amazing network of cells by sending and using these molecules. But we age, and as we age, we break down, and these cells start to communicate with less and less of their neighbors' cells. And so this causes us to look older, feel older, function less. Well, as we learn about these molecules, I don't care what age you are, if you're breathing, these molecules are going to do the same for everybody. They're literally going to restore those bonds of communication and allow your body to function and thrive like they're supposed to. So you have to remember how the body develops in the first place, how the body repairs, how the body heals. It always starts at the molecular level, and that's where our signaling molecules exist. They transcribe into cells, which turn into tissues, which turn into an organs, and then an organ system into this beautiful organism. And so that's the topic for today, this beautiful organism and its actual development, and how are we hindering or enhancing that amazing gift of life. And so as we talk about our mother's touch, this is so important. When a mother touches and holds her baby, there's an exchange of redox signaling molecules, specifically nitric oxide and a reactive oxygen species, that occurs with skin on skin contact. It's a literally exchange of molecules. Your energy and the thing that makes your body power up and communicate, you're able to share that. However, it takes skin on skin contact. That's why they have the baby as it first comes out, lay right on mom's chest, right on dad's chest, and feel all of that love and all of that energy literally entering their body. Okay, it's not just perceived, it's physical, and its molecules are actually being given to you. These molecules have been shown to influence all sorts of physiological processes in these babies. So, one of them being regulation of hormones, the exchange of touch. Redox molecules can influence the production of hormones like oxytocin. This is known to be the love hormone, and it plays a very vital role with bonding and attachment between mother and baby. The immune system modulation, all redox signaling, okay, from identifying something's not supposed to be there, getting the immune system to attack it, clean it up and get it out and restore back to homeostasis, okay? Redox molecules help these infants' immune systems protect against infections and just promote overall health and resiliency. The stress reduction effect of physical touch and the love from the mother. These molecules during touch can reduce stress and help promote a sense of just calmness and well-being. Okay, it doesn't matter the words that you're saying, it's the physical touch that matters. Neurological development. This is so important. As your baby's developing, this is going to help promote cognitive and emotional growth, but physical growth as well. Infants are doubling in size every 6 months for 3 years. If you think about how fast those cells are growing to accomplish that is truly remarkable. Well, here's going to be an example of an actual infant with a camera showing you a nerve growing inside this baby. Now, these are redox signaling molecules transcribing other molecules into nerve cells and then pulling the nerve cells together to form a nerve. Now, 1 second here is equivalent to 30 seconds in real life. So this is sped up, but you can see the amazing intelligence that's within us that didn't abandon you at birth. It's continuing to grow and change and develop. Now, there's a downside too, because during this development time, if they get exposed to toxins and things like a heavy metal, in this case, which you're about to see be introduced, this amazing growth of connections and growing this whole network of nerves just gets denuded and it reverses and then it just stops. Okay. And so it's so important that we don't let our babies be exposed to toxins and chemicals and clean air, clean water, clean environment, and protect them at all costs. So what's the impact of these babies when they don't get enough touch or any touch? Okay. Well, time after time again, it's proven that they're just going to fail to thrive. They're never going to feel the joy of potential and hope and the love that's given to you from your parents. So emotional and behavior issues are very common. Cognitive and neurological impairments happen. We have a weakened immune system. Okay, they can't just be raised in a beaker or in a bin. They have to have physical contact. So what about mom? so many times mom's just giving and giving so much of her energy. She's holding that baby all day long, and it's just you're pouring out everything you have into your children. What if she's exhausted, like, and too tired and just can't give anymore? Like, what happens to the baby then? Well, research has shown that it doesn't matter how tired mom is, she's still going to keep giving. And it's not even consciously. She is so connected to that being that she will continue to give until she passes out. She'll just continue to give and give. And that's just the nature of our beings. Okay. So, how do we help mom not get to that point that she's breaking down? Well, there's some simple things we mentioned earlier, things like grounding. Okay. Going barefoot on the grass or on the dirt or the sand is this amazing exchange of molecules from the earth. Now, supplementing with redox signaling molecules, 4 ounces is going to be equivalent to going out and grounding yourself for 60 minutes on the beach. And you get extra benefits because you're only getting the negative electrons to help neutralize free radicals and things like that in your body. You're not getting the actual molecules that come up to the language of the entire nervous system. And so it really is reckless not to be grounding, because half of your energy from grounding is what we use to charge the power of our cells. And if our cells are charged, we're healthy. If they're not, we're not, period. Now, once they're charged, we also want to be able to communicate. I mean, that's the other half of it. And so half of your energy is used to charge your cells. If you're grounding or taking a supplement, you don't have to use that energy for that. Now all your energy goes to healing and restoring and thriving, basically, as best you can. Now, mother needs food too. Okay. And so brain food is very important. We have to have fats. If you're not having fat in your diet, your brain and your neurology is going to suffer. Okay. And so think of it like pregnant women that get very forgetful or postpartum depression and all of those things. They've done studies to show that their brain is up to a whole 1/3 smaller than it was in the beginning of the pregnancy. Why is that? Because baby needs it. And just like your energy, no matter how tired are, you're going to touch that baby and give all of your essence to them. While you're in utero, while that baby's in utero, if you're not consuming a lot of foods like this to get you extra fats, baby's brain's going to be developed from your brain. It's going to take the fat out of your brain because baby's not going to be deficient. Okay. That doesn't work that way. Baby's going to take it to the point that you're deficient, but baby will have what it needs. And so it's important that we need to take a supplement on top of just eating the foods, because science has caught up and given us the best quality, cleanest essential fatty acids that we can get in high doses very simply and consistently. That's the key, because you're not necessarily thinking, how many of these things on the screen did I eat today? And did I eat enough, every single day? The recommended daily allowance for omega-3 and DHA is about, I think it's 750 milligrams a day. And that's exactly what 2 of these omega products will give you. A lot of products like this only have about 200. So you might have to take 6 or 8 or 10. And if you're pregnant, maybe even 2,000 a day. Or if you have any type of brain injuries or neurological injuries, you want to be taking more like 2,000 milligrams a day to get that leg up on the essential fats that your body needs. And then the other thing is energy from your heart. We can take an ECG and record a signal from your heart between 5 and 10 feet away from you. So isn't it that interesting that as long as somebody is within 5 feet, they can feel your energy? Now, this is scientifically proven. And isn't it ironic how during COVID, everybody wanted you to stay 6 feet apart because they didn't want you to feel the heart of the people that you're with? Okay, just kind of a coincidence. But this, don't exchange this for or associate this with touching your baby, the skin to skin contact, because although the energy is there, and you might feel somebody's energy. It's more of a emotional or a spiritual or an intuitiveness that you're feeling. There's no actual exchange of molecules. Okay, so you're not getting the actual redox molecules to somebody just by being in their presence. It takes skin to skin contact. Like a battery, we're bioelectrical beings. We have a little ball that if you touch both leads on this little ping pong ball, it lights up and makes a lot of noise. Well, I can touch one lead and hold the hand of somebody next to me. Doesn't matter how many people are holding hands, when that last person comes and touches the lead, it completes the circuit because we're all a bioelectrical being. But that energy, as important it is, because you can come into a room and make everybody light up and smile and be energized just from your energy, but that's not an exchange of actual molecules, okay? So we want to be touching your baby as often as you can. And we have a product called Renew 28 that is a gel that's literally twice as concentrated as the liquid. And so this is an incredible product. And when we talk about ASEA, whether it's the liquid or the gel, there is no toxicity for anybody, anywhere in the body, any amount. Okay, this is 100% safe. Why? Well, guess what? Every one of your 100 trillion cells is making these exact molecules. These are just a little higher energy and they last longer until they touch something organic and then they bioactively just go to work and they utilize themselves up just as quickly as you would, but they can just sustain themselves. So it's like putting extra workers into the area, not putting nutrients that's going to be part of the structure like proteins, vitamins, and minerals. This isn't that. This is signaling molecules. So this is going to just help the whole process work faster. You're dropping a whole team in there to clean up and get the job done quicker. So along the spine on these babies, bottom of their feet are all these reflexology points to affect every organ and system in the body. The same thing with the ears. The ears have all those reflex points, and then the neck. The neck has the jugular veins to get it right up into the brain health, and then, of course, around the whole neck. Um, and then any skin issues, any rash, cut, burn, sting, blister, bite, it doesn't matter what the skin issue is. Helps your body identify it, communicate, and it helps your body actually heal it faster. Okay, it's not healing you, it's just signaling your body and helping it know what it needs to do quicker so you have a better resilience. And so this is a product that we literally have in all of our vehicles and all of our travel bags, all around the house, because you never know when something would happen and that you need that extra healing to happen. And then outside of that, we talked about our supplement. So the solution here is it doesn't matter how old we are, even babies, even though they make a lot more than we do as adults, because we lose 10% of these molecules every decade we're alive. So if you ask how many years old am I, that's how much percent you don't make anymore, okay, for your own self. So by supplementing with it, it eliminates oxidative stress as fast as it's happening in your body. And 75 to 80% of all conditions out there start as oxidative stress. And then it spills over into autoimmune inflammation and all of those things. So when we can eliminate oxidative stress, we never have the need to inflame, okay, and to go into that second state. So inflammation starts to settle. It helps keep our cells charged to give it potential day and night. And of course, improve cellular communication. That's what it's all about. Charge my cells and help me communicate better. And I trust my innate intelligence knows how to keep me healthy and happy and healed. So increases your redox potential on all levels of your body and of your health. And so the omega, again, it's really difficult to find good omega sources that aren't rancid, that have good quality and sustainable sources. And we love ASEA for all of those reasons. And the more you learn about any of the other products that ASEA has, the more you will appreciate them too. But the foundation of it's all redox. When we consume redox molecules regularly, it keeps us energized and it keeps us grounded. So as we said in the beginning, we're not here to diagnose, treat, or prevent any diseases or medical conditions. It's not about the conditions. It's about helping you return to that own positive, optimal potential that we all have to thrive. We're going to either take all of that energy and these molecules that we're making for ourselves and waste them trying to just get back from the lifestyle that's throwing us out of balance, or we can learn to thrive in homeostasis and use all those molecules to get that leg up on healing. And talking about moms and babies, talk about resiliency, talk about recovering from being exhausted day and night, lack of sleep. All of these molecules will change your life and will help your babies um, be in that same homeostasis. Just because they're young, it doesn't mean they don't have health challenges. It doesn't mean we don't have problems that could use that extra healing, right? And so we always think redox first, and then we go to the next step. And so that's kind of been our philosophy here in the home. When little things happen, we grab the redox first, and if it doesn't deal with it, then we'll go get other medical help. But I hope you enjoyed all of that. Sometimes you just have to hear things a little bit differently. You have to see a visualization in a little bit of different way to finally have it click in and be like, aha, I get it. That makes sense. And so my goal is to keep throwing a different topic at you every week, and hopefully you'll relate to some of them in a way that gives you that aha moment, and how blessed we are to have this, and how I can't believe the rest of the world doesn't already know about it yet. But that's what we're all here for, to help spread the good news, no pun intended. All right, I'll send it back to you, Sherry. Thank you guys. Enjoy.